Hi everyone, and welcome to And So On. My name is Lisa, and today we're going to have a little update on life, a little bit of knitting, and our 7,000 subscriber giveaway. I am so excited that we reached 7,000 subscribers over the weekend. It's basically 7,000 subscribers in about a year, maybe a tiny bit over a year, and I'm just so grateful and excited to have so many of you follow what I'm doing and just be so lovely and supportive. So I'm really grateful, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway, so stick through to the end of this video and you'll get all the details. So let's start with the life update. You guys know that if you watched my last video that we are working on selling our house, and that has been pretty much all consuming, I'll be totally honest. So some of you had questions about staging and why we had to pack up our house. So it doesn't happen all the time. In fact, this is the first house that we've sold that we've actually done the full staging. But essentially, you're trying to allow buyers to see the ideal version of their home and what they could do with it. And so a designer came in, and she does this for a living, and she picked all the paint colors, and she picked the flooring, and we decided to do a few updates, which is not necessarily something that always happens with staging, but painting is pretty common. So she picked all the paint colors, which I love, and she picked furniture, and she kind of said, you know, this stays, this goes, this stays, this goes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some pictures at the end that came from the professional photographer after the house was fully staged. And I would say about 50% of the furniture is ours and 50% isn't. And most of the tchotchkes and the kind of little objet d'art are not ours. I think a lot of the art is ours. Anyway. If you're interested, you can see that at the end. So what that's meant, of course, is that my sewing room was completely packed up and gone. So I don't have any access to my sewing machine, which is so sad. I really miss it. And of course, I'm seeing all of these lovely things online that I want to make. And right now I don't have access. So right now it's all about the knitting, because I can just keep a little knitting box out and it can be stashed away really quick. It's portable. And yeah, so I've been doing a lot of knitting. Now, in terms of how life has been while selling a house, I don't want to say stressful, because I feel like stressful is something that, you know, if something doesn't happen, then it's going to be bad, or if something does happen, then it's going to be bad. Like, there's pressure associated with the word stress. For me, it's more just a bit uncomfortable, a bit frustrating at times that you can't get to the things that you want to get to because they're away. But really, selling our house is not a necessity. It's just a chance to make a change. And so if it doesn't work, we're totally fine staying in the house. So it's not like if the house doesn't sell, we're in financial ruin. It's just, we're going to make different decisions. So, and from that point of view, it's not stressful. It's just a little bit uncomfortable. So on to the knitting. So my finished objects are socks. I spent some time this weekend doing socks. We actually went away for the weekend. We went to our cottage, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from Toronto. And that was great because we didn't have to worry about kind of being in and out of the house while open houses were happening and all that craziness. We just removed ourselves from the situation. The girls had a day off on Friday. And so we were really just able to remove ourselves and go away for 3 days, which was great. And actually, it's kind of funny. I called it Family Fun Weekend, which the kids understandably cringed when I made that sound, but it's been, hard for them and tiring, and I wanted to make it a really fun weekend. So anytime they wanted to do something, we did it. We went out for breakfast. We went to their favorite place for dinner that we don't usually go to. We went to the movies. I let them have candy, and I'm a bit of a sugar, I don't let them have a ton of sugar. So they got hot chocolate every day. I bought them a book and a magazine at the grocery store. So, it was just sort of like those little extras to make it fun for the kids. And so, yeah, we had family fun weekend. And I did a lot of knitting of socks. So if you've knit socks before, you know that the heel is sort of something that you can do many different ways. And I've been doing Afterthought heels for a while because it just allows me to not have to think about that until the very end. It lets me just kind of knit, and then add the heel at the end. And what I had been doing is the waist yarn version, where you add the waist yarn when you're at the point where you feel you're going to put in the heel, and then you just remove that, and that sort of holds the stitches in the interim, and you add it to both of your needles afterwards, and then you reduce and end up with this kind of pointy heel. And I had seen the version of the true Afterthought heel, and it's kind of funny. Amy Florence, who is the Stranded podcast, I had actually posted just the other day, I said, oh, how do you do your Afterthought heel? And then it just happened that the next day she posted about the Afterthought heel. So it worked out well. I'll link that below because it was really great to see her process. And one of the things, so she does the version where you're cutting the knitting, and like the idea of cutting knitting as a knitter is so stressful because you go, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Because it's all interconnected and you cut one piece and it's just going to fall apart. So but I thought, you know, this is the perfect time when I'm away and don't have any other responsibilities to just kind of dig in and give that a shot. And I had 4 socks. No, that's not true. I had 3 socks to work on. So I had the sock that I showed you last time of Lily's, and I'll try and put in a clip because I don't have it with me. And I had the second one of that. And then I had the 2 socks that I made for Audrey, my eldest. I used this Fiberlia yarn. What's this called? Yarn. And then I used this. So this is Fiber Yarn Co. And I'll show you the rest later because I bought 2. But this is the color Quartz. And I used this for the heel. And yeah, I just went for it. And I actually put it in my Instagram stories, although it's probably gone by now, but I did put some pictures. So I'll put some pictures in here of the snipping process. And it actually was easier. It was easier than using the waste yarn, because sometimes at the edges, the waste yarn gets a little bit twisted in and you're trying to get it free and whatever. And I just found picking up stitches on both sides and snipping and just doing it was great. And so I'm going to link the Stranded podcast version below so you can have a look if you want to give it a try. But if you haven't tried it, go for it. It's actually not, well, it is scary, but it's not as hard as it looks. And once you do it, I think that's the way to go. I really do. So Audrey's socks turned out great. She loves them. She's wearing them to school right now. I used 2.25 needles for this. And I'm actually going to go down again a needle size, and maybe I just have certain expectations of how small I want the stitches to look on a sock. Maybe that's it. But I also saw again the Stranded podcast, Amy, I think it's Amy, also uses 2.0 needles, US size 0. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a shot. So I did 3 Afterthought heels in one go, and that's pretty much, I started and finished the whole sock of Audrey's second sock, plus the first sock heel and the other sock heel. That's mostly what I did all weekend, but I do have some other whips to show you. So I started a shawl with the Knit Crate yarn that I had last time. So the yarn that I'm using is this beautiful green. And I think I told you guys that I picked up Shibui Silk Cloud in that same color. So it goes really nicely together. It just adds a really nice halo. And actually, I'm curious, I might even add the gray in. So the pattern, I'm using the Making Things app for this. And the pattern is called the Everyday Shawl. And I think what I'm gonna do, yeah, that's not gonna work. So I'll insert some photos of that. And I just really like the shape of it. I'm not a huge garter fan. And so when a shawl is like all garter, I don't know, I don't love it. And I know that a lot of people love a garter shawl because they're just knitting, and a lot of people are not so into pearls. I actually don't mind pearls at all. And part of it I think about that is the way that I knit. And I was actually thinking of doing a video on how I knit, because I do continental combination knitting, which is a little different, but I kind of came to it over time, and I feel like it's really, really efficient and really fast. So if you'd like to hear my tips on efficiency and quickness in knitting, let me know below. So far, this is what I have, and it kind of cracks me up because it looks a bit like a knitted thong. Anyway, this is what I have so far, and I'm going to continue to increase on either side of this stitch marker, and it's essentially panels. So you're doing a panel of stockinette and then a panel of reverse stockinette all the way up, and then it will start to change color. I may actually, I have some gray Shibui still left, and I wonder if I would get a different tone if I added in some of the gray Silk Cloud, because obviously you can see in the pictures of the scarf, it does have different tones in it, and it's meant to show off those tones, and I'm just using this one yarn. So I wonder if I added in the gray Shibui, if it would maybe add a little bit of that. This is obviously a bigger project. It feels like it's gonna take forever. I don't know, I guess we'll see. I'm still working on a Lily's cardigan, and I finished the back, and then I'm a good chunk into the front left side. And now I just need to reduce for the neck and finish the garter portion at the top, and then I can do the other side. I'd like to say I can get this done by Christmas. It just depends on how distracted I am by other projects. If I only knit this, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I kind of like to just knit what makes me feel happy in the moment. I'm not very disciplined. I'm going to take part in the Blame Dunder Knit Along, which is by Caroline of Knitting Vicariously. And actually, I got a shout out on her podcast last time, and that was quite lovely. So if anyone has come over here from Knitting Vicariously, let me know below. I'd love to know and say hello personally. Anyway, basically the idea of her knit along is just knit something you've been dying to knit. Use her knit along as an excuse to either get some wool you've been dying to get or knit a pattern you've been dying to get without any guilt. So I went to the knitting store on Thursday, and I was feeling, a little bit uncomfortable with the move, and so I got myself pretty things to make myself feel better. I'm gonna change there we go. So this is Leo and Roxy. Do I have the thing? This is Leo and Roxy yarn, and I believe they are an Ontario company, or definitely Canadian. And they were actually having a trunk show at my local yarn store, but I was going to be away for the weekend. So I picked these up. This is the quartz color, and this one is called If I Were Ice Cream. If This Were Ice Cream, pardon me. So this is quartz, and this is If This Were Ice Cream. And I just love, it is delicious, right? Like a strawberry ripple, raspberry ripple ice cream. Now I did use this for the bottom of Audrey's socks, but I haven't used this yet. I did start a sock, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna frog it. But you can see, I really like this ribbing, and I do like it. I just feel that actually, I want something that's really flat and plain because I want to see this, I want to see all these colors come out, and I feel like a stitch pattern, I was just doing a bird's eye stitch pattern, which is, still pretty simple, but I think I want it to just be really flat. And what I was thinking is finding a pattern that just has one cable that just goes right down the side. So there's still a little bit interest, there's still something to do, I'm not going to get bored, but it's still going to really show off that beautiful yarn. So my other acquisition is a bunch of Haya needles. And the reason for that is I went to the local yarn shop where our cottage is in Trenton, and they were actually, the funny thing is I called them to see if they had any US 0 interchangeables for Haya, because I have these, which are the 2.25s. And I do really like them, but I just wanted to try and go down to the 2.0s and see what happens. And so I wanted to get the interchangeable for this. So I just happened to call them and say, do you carry Haya needles? And she said, actually, we're clearing out all of our knitting stuff right now. We're gonna focus solely on garment sewing. And I do have Haya needles, and they're being cleared out at 50% off. And I went, I will see you soon. So I popped down, and all of these were 50% off. So basically most of them are $14-ish, within 50 cents. So I got them for $7. I got 3 lengths of cable. So you might notice that this cable is pink, this cable is blue, and that's because the pink cable is only for the teeny tiny ones. I think it's like 2.75 and down. Ironically, she didn't have the 2.0s, so I'm still gonna have to get those, but these are for the tiny ones. So the bigger needles don't work with the pink cable. So I got a 32-inch, a 24-inch, and an 18-inch. So I figured that would be good for hats. And then these would be good for larger projects, so they're great to have. And then they were sold out of a lot of the needles because, of course, I think this had been on for a while. But I managed to get US 4s and US 2.5s. So essentially, that gave me, a little bit of options, and those will work with the blue cables. And then I got 2 of the 9-inch sock knitting ones. So these are kind of cool. I actually used the 2.0 for this because I wanted to see how it would work, like how the 2.0 would change my stitch definition. And I really like how stretchy this came out. This is a twisted rib. So I twist the purls. And again, the way I knit, twisting purls is really easy. So it's not a pain in the butt like it is for most. And so I just twisted the purls and kept the knits as they were. Okay, so this is what these look like. And she said the reason why they got high needles to begin with is that someone who worked there really wanted these needles. So it's different working with these. There's a learning curve in terms of getting your hands feeling comfortable. I have long fingers, but I don't know. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. It did take a while to get used to them, I'll be honest. But I think especially, for instance, if you start off and you just have a block going straight down, I think this is great. It doesn't bother me to purl with these. I think some people have a problem purling on the short needles. It didn't bother me with that. And I do like them, so I do want to get 2.0s in the interchangeables. So yeah, I thought those were worth investing in at 50% off. And that way, if I have the cables, I can just pick up the needles as I need them per project. The last thing I got was this road trip book. This is Tin Can Knits, and it's a bit older. It's 2014. I was essentially just looking on Amazon to see if they had any of their books on there, and this one was on there and reasonable. And I'd like to start trying out some color work, which is something I haven't done before. And they have some really cute color work in here, like this little hat, and there's a little sweater. This sweater here, which I think is quite popular and has been made up a lot. So I'm gonna stay tuned on this. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'm really enjoying just reading it and kind of learning more about construction and learning more about color work. And I've been doing some research online, and I will dive in soon. All right, that's all I've been up to. So let me now tell you about the giveaway. So usually when I do a giveaway, I will introduce you guys to new YouTubers, and you will go over there and give them some love and then come back and leave me a comment. With everything that's been going on, I have not had time to research that, and I didn't want to put off the giveaway too long because of that. As well, I just haven't had, usually new YouTubers come up on my feed, and I haven't had that happen. So if you are a new YouTuber or a YouTuber with less than 1,000 subscribers in the sewing community, or you know someone that you think we would like, please do mention them below so that I can add them to my list for next time, because I'm always looking for new videos to add. So the giveaway is being sponsored by Athena from Athena Kaku Designs, and I love Athena. She's just the sweetest, and she's such a hardworking lady, and she's always creating something new. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to link you to one of my favorite videos from Athena, and it's where she takes the Shona dress and top, and you saw me review that, I can link there, and she hacks it like 16 different ways. I think this is an amazing pattern. Yes, it's just a fairly straightforward top pattern, but what she shows you how to do with it is amazing, okay? So I would suggest that you go over there and leave her some love. It's not a requirement, but I would love for you to go over and check it out. Tell her I sent you. And then also just put below a question that you have for me. I'm gonna do a Q&A video coming up. I'm happy to answer any questions as long as they're not like, too crazy personal. I would love to answer any questions that you have. And also let me know if you are a knitter here and you don't sew and you want to be part of the giveaway, you can link me up to one of your wish list patterns on Ravelry. And if you happen to win, then I will get you that pattern on Ravelry. Deal? Okay, that's it for today. I have a whole bunch of things to get done. I'm about to go out and run around. Luckily, it is a beautiful sunny day with a blue sky, and I love being in that kind of weather. So I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.